Today on The Young and the Restless, Jack and Billy realize they're fighting a common enemy. Victor puts Victoria on notice, and Audra gets the best of Kyle. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. In the club dining room, Nate remarks that he still has the afterglow from last night. Audra laughs as he says he knows chemistry when he sees it. She tells him he needs to go before the department store CEO she's meeting with arrives. He's impressed that she's trying to expand her market. Nate teases that he wouldn't want to be a distraction. Audra confides that Bob Elton has been dealing exclusively with Kyle, but she's going to make it so he'll want to work with her only. Nate thinks it's a shame she has to expend so much energy trying to outmaneuver her partner. Audra says Kyle's made it clear there's no room for the both of them. Just then, Kyle walks up. Audra asks what he's doing there. Kyle's getting breakfast to celebrate the meeting he just had with Bob Elton. Audra narrows her eyes. You found out about my meeting. Kyle asks if she really thought she could work her charm on his biggest retail prospect. Nate gets involved and Audra tells him it's okay. Claire walks in and watches as Nate tells Audra to handle her business, and leaves the table. He tells Claire that she'll have to wait if she's there to see Kyle. At the table, Kyle tells Audra that he's already 3 steps ahead of her. She finds out he called a supplier and canceled her order for product samples she planned to pitch to Victor. At the bar, Nate tells Claire that business can be cutthroat. He notes her grandfather is a heavyweight. He muses that he thought the egos were big in the operating rooms, but CEOs are next level. The desire for power is a disease as serious as a heart attack. Claire references her past. One thing she's learned is that power struggles and vendettas rarely end well for anyone involved. At Audra's table, Kyle fumes that Bob was his contact. Audra only planned the meeting with Elton because he tried to sabotage him with Victor. Kyle complains about her lack of loyalty and warns he'll do whatever it takes to get her out of Lisade. Jack arrives at home and finds Billy there, on his way out after having breakfast with Tracy. Jack wants to chat, but his brother warns he won't change his plans for Abbott Chancellor. Jack urges Billy to stick around. He admits he doesn't agree with him hiring Phyllis, who is no Lily Winters. Billy argues that Phyllis has had his back as opposed to trying to stick a knife in it. Jack is concerned that he's moving away from the people who can help him preserve Catherine's legacy. Billy asks why it matters to him and reminds his brother he's not his boss anymore. Word on the street is that he's losing power at Jabba to his wife. Irritated, Jack thinks Billy's ego is blinding him to the possibility that he's taking Chancellor in the wrong direction. Billy doesn't need Jack's help. Jack's frustrated that he denies himself the benefit of his experience. Billy doesn't have time for this. Jack reminds his brother what a disaster it was when he taught himself to sail because he didn't want to listen to him. His reaction hasn't changed. He's constantly fighting the people who want to help him. Billy insists he's changed and complains at Jack taking every opportunity to tell him that he's smarter and knows best. Jack rants that he still has a chip on his shoulder. Billy knows his worth and believes in the vision he has for Abbott Chancellor. He won't let anyone trample on it, including Victor. Jack's head snaps up. Wait. What does Victor have to do with any of this? Billy admits that Victor's waiting for him to make a mistake, but he's not going to do that. Jack says he already has. He fired Lily. Billy says Lily was committed to getting him out of the company. He had to react. Jack thinks Victor's ploy is working. He's got him on the defensive already. Billy counters that he may knock him down first. He has someone on the inside at Newman who is in his corner. Victoria. Jack guesses she's trying to protect her children. Billy says she offered to buy him out, but his company's not for sale. Jack feels Victor can't be too happy about his daughter trying to cut a deal behind his back. At Society, Victor compliments Victoria's work. She reminds him how good she is at his job. Talk turns to Nick being focused on Sharon. Victor says Nick's lucky she's looking out for him, but questions her loyalty to the rest of the family. He knows she offered Billy Abbott a buyout against his wishes. Victoria says her kids look up to their father, just as his children look up to him. Her mother can still run Chancellor if they buy Billy out. Victor needs to know where her loyalties really lie. Victoria tells her father she's on Newman Enterprises. She knows he thought her plan was a sound one. Why not avoid a power struggle between him and Billy? Victor guesses he accepted her offer to avoid a humiliating loss. Victoria says Billy turned her down. Victor grunts that he doesn't know what's good to him. Victoria thinks he might warm up to the idea, but Victor says it will never happen. He saw weakness in her and will take advantage of it. Victoria feels he can't blame her for putting her family ahead of business, and complains that his hatred for Billy supersedes his loyalty to his grandchildren, which makes her think twice about having any part of this. Victor asks if she's saying she's willing to leave the company over this. At the club, Audra and Kyle continue bickering until Nate and Claire break it up. Kyle says he's done with Audra, who warns him Claire has been watching the whole time and looks unsettled about what she witnessed. Kyle says it's just business. Claire is fully aware that the gloves need to come off sometimes in business. Audra warns Kyle doesn't do anything with a gentle touch. If she hasn't found out already, she will. Claire and Kyle walk away and Nate asks Audra, "What was that all about?" In the jazz lounge, Kyle tells Claire that Audra is upset because he outmaneuvered her at Glissade. Claire didn't just fall out of a coconut tree. She doesn't like or condone his approach, but people are more than what they do for work. Even her grandfather has a soft side. She wonders, however, if he's worried about her seeing him like this. Maybe part of his wishes he didn't have to be that way. Kyle concedes that he wishes things didn't have to be so nasty. He wants her to know that the way he was with Audra was just business, which can get ugly. Claire sees the man he really is. "I see you with your son. Kindness is not weakness." She tells him she believes in him and is confident he can achieve all the things he wants, while avoiding stooping to Audra's level when possible. Kyle thanks her for seeing the best in him. Claire wants to know all of him. In the club, Nate tells Audra she's better than this. "Don't let Kyle bait you into being someone you're not." Audra won't let anyone take this away from her. Nate doesn't want to see her get hurt. Audra says when a man is aggressive in business, it's a virtue. When a woman does it, she has to be put back in line. She won't give any ground. Her place is on top, and Glissade is a chance for her to establish herself. Nate's merely suggesting she doesn't have to go about it this way. Audra informs him that this is who she is. If he doesn't like it, he can go on his way. Nate tells her he's in her corner and isn't going anywhere. He urges her to move forward with the new product, even though Kyle sabotaged her. Audra knows she can impress Victor, but this is about pleasing herself. If she's happy with her work, Victor will be too. She muses, if Kyle wants a fight, he'll get one. At the Abbott mansion, Jack tells Billy they share a common enemy. Billy doesn't want to get caught in the crossfire, but he sees the benefit of Victor having to fight a war on two fronts. Jack worries that Victoria has put herself between him and her father. He warns his brother that he needs to protect his relationship with his child. He wouldn't wish the pain on anyone of the schism between him and his son. Billy frowns. Things aren't any better with Kyle. Jack just asks him to think long and hard about how this business with Victor will affect his kids. They don't know Victor the way they do. He'll undermine their feelings for their father if it suits his purpose. You have to do whatever you can to protect your relationship with them. He thinks Chelsea could be a help. Billy says they're on a break. He tells Billy that Abbott Chancellor is not a sailboat, it's the Titanic. Billy assures his brother he sees Victor coming. At Society, Victoria thinks it sounds like her father is considering letting her go for going to Billy. Victor complains that Nikki is looking forward to running Chancellor, and Catherine would roll over in her grave thinking of that idiot running it. Victoria thinks he's more intent on hurting Billy than helping her mom. Victor says Billy does not belong at Chancellor Industries, he needs to be gone. Outside Society, Victoria tells her father she appreciates him not totally losing it on her for going behind his back. Victor loves her, but don't ever let this happen again. Victoria says she should let him know she spoke to Cole about this, to get advice. Victor doesn't like this and asks if he advised her to go against his wishes. Victoria says he encouraged her to follow her instincts. "If you're looking for someone to blame for influencing me in this, you should look in the mirror." She asked herself, what would my father do? Victor can't hide his smile, but warns he's taking Chancellor back and not to get in his way. Victoria doesn't think she could stop him.